Hello, students. I know that I may look like an alien to you, but when we return to the moon, I can assure you that we will be aliens there. And because we will be in an alien world, it will be important for us to think like an alien. Yes. What do I mean by that? Well, it does not mean that we are going to fly in flying saucers or do other typical alien things. But what it does mean is that we cannot rely on the resources of the planet we will be visiting to sustain us. We must be prepared to bring with us the things that we shall need. And also take advantage of the resources there also. So this week, you will begin your STEM project, and I would like you to think as an alien might think. So, here are your project guidelines. You will be provided a link to this Google Doc which shows the mission goals and requirements for you. The title of this mission is Lunar Soil Plant Project, and you are going to help NASA scientists determine the best way to plant and grow crops to sustain your alien race on the moon's surface for an extended period of time. So, the mission goal is to grow edible plants in lunar soil. The mission requirements include the following. The goal must be achieved with minimal mass. Remember, you're going to have to bring things with you, and that will cost money. So the less mass, the greater your success. Also, it must be a self-sustaining garden pod that you produce. The less maintenance required from you, the greater the success. Next, you need to produce a rapid reproduction capability in your garden pod. The shorter the growth time, the greater the success. And finally, your requirement is to produce nutritional crop output. The greater the nutrition, the greater the success. You won't want to look like me when you are finished with this project. You want to produce a crop that provides the nutrients and minerals for your species. Next, the mission materials. And Mr. Skirpst will show these to you as I discuss each one. First, a garden pod. The garden pod will be a standard clear plastic cylinder which will function as the growth cylinder and the growth chamber. Number 2, you will be provided simulated lunar soil. There will be a standard volume of lunar regolith with a mineral mixture similar to that found on the moon. Third, you will be given a choice of seeds to bring with you into your garden pod. You will have your choice of lettuce, mesclun mix, and herb mix, radish seeds or human spawn. No, I'm just kidding about that last one. That's for my diet. Next, number 4. Since there is no liquid water on the moon's surface, you will need to bring some liquid water with you. Yes, one of the other missions to the moon will involve extracting the natural resource of water from the lunar soil, but for today, for this project, you will need to bring some liquid water with you. So there will be vials of liquid water for the initial infusion into your garden pod. Next, that moisture you will want to retain in your garden pod and slowly be released into your growing seed population. So you will need to consider a moisture retention substance, whether it be cotton balls, paper towel, tissue, sponge, or relying on none and just depending upon the soil itself. That will be up to your team. Next, organic material. Yes, I am a carbon-based life form, and so are you, and so are your plants that you will be growing. And as such, they can't just grow from only the minerals in the soil, but rather you will need to provide them some organic material as well. And there are options for you, including natural compost, a provided a growth disc, a fertilizer stick, or none of the above. Number 7, a carbon dioxide source. As you may be aware, there is a cycle that takes place in nature from oxygen to carbon dioxide. You, as a human species, breathe out carbon dioxide and breathe in oxygen. Because I am green, I do the opposite. I'm like a plant. And plants need to take in carbon dioxide and they release oxygen. So you will be provided some ideas for sources of CO2, including charcoal, decomposing compost, carbonated rock chips, or none of the above. And finally, number 8, a light filter. You may know that some plants respond better to some lights than to others. I personally like green filtered light. But some plants might prefer blue or red or no filter at all. That will be up to you to figure out. Now, your mission procedures are as follows. Each team of lunar botanists will determine the exact combination of materials to use in their garden pod to achieve the mission goal. This will be done after initial research of the various materials and their potential usefulness in achieving the mission goal and requirements. After thorough collaboration, teams will outline their procedures prior to completing their pod. Now, the observations of the mission will include, after the pod preparation is complete, data will be collected daily on the following information. Germination, start date, date of first growth above soil. Number 2, growth. The daily observations of plant height, color, distribution, and health. Number 3, harvest time. The date of the harvest, the mass of the crop, and a calculation of the nutritional value. The conclusion of this mission will be based upon data from each team and after analysis and comparison to the mission requirements. Each team's data will then be compared with one another to determine a winner of the competition and maybe a trip to the moon with moi. So stay tuned. More information will be following. Have fun.